Welcome, Phase 1 Readiness. I'm Adam. Today I'm going to talk about a CBD vegetable glycerin based tincture that you can use under your tongue. I've been making this for a few years. I know CBD is the hot word, but I've been doing this long before it was the hot word. 4 words I want you to Google that will help you understand this whole process in the future. One is cannabidiol. The other is decarboxylation, which is essentially slowly over time heating up hemp so that it releases the cannabidiols. And also look up CBD in general so you understand what it's all about. And then the last one, which is also important, is E-N-D-O, endocannabidiol system. That is a natural system in our own bodies that deals with passing electrical signals from nerve endings from one place to another and the deficiencies related to that. That's where CBD comes in. It bridges that gap where you might have a deficiency in the chemical compounds in your endocannabidiol system. But I'll leave it at that. This isn't science class. Okay, as I said, this is about taking CBD flower in its raw form, hemp flower in its raw form, and releasing the CBD compound so that we can turn it into a tincture. So the first thing we want to do is, you can get raw hemp flower from many sources. I get mine from a place, it's easy to remember, I got a sticker called Tweedle Farms. It's in Oregon. You can buy it in the package where it's all loose. I'll bring this forward. It's all loose, and they call that shake, S-H-A-K-E, if you look for it. It's really cheap if you get it that way. Okay, let's start this process. First off, you need to decarboxylate the hemp flower when you get it. Like I said, that's a matter of temperature and time. And you do this at 220 degrees for 45 minutes. And what you do, let's see if I can get this in the shot. I take the shake, or the CBD flower, hemp flower, and put it out on aluminum foil and put it on a pan and put it in the oven at 220 degrees for 45 minutes on bake. And what that does, that releases the CBD compound, which is attached to some other chemical compounds. It releases it from those, the heat does, so that it's bioavailable for us to use in our bodies. All right, once that's done, the process is quite simple. You're going to need a slow cooker that has a keep warm setting. Low settings are a little bit too high. You can do it with that. But one with a keep warm setting is ideal. And this whole process is based on temperature and time. Low temperature over a long period of time. Okay. Well, let's start with this. Let me tell you what I got going on here. This is vegetable glycerin. You can buy this off Amazon, in stores, things like that. Vegetable glycerin is made from plant oils like coconut oil, palm oil, soy oil, and it's got a very sweet taste to it. And a lot of times it's used in tinctures instead of alcohol because it's a lot less harsh and it does have that sweet taste. I use little dropper bottles that I recycle from other things and wash out very well. So this is advisable to put your end product in. It makes it easy to get a drop, fill the dropper full, and put it under your tongue. I use a shot glass for measuring because it's a 2-ounce shot glass, and in this recipe, yes, it was 3 ounces, calls for 3 ounces of vegetable glycerin. And then I also use a glass measuring cup and your typical teaspoons. And this is basically the package that the shake comes in, or the hemp flower, ground up hemp basically, from Tweedle Farms. So the recipe, I'm going to put this up here and then we'll go over it. Hopefully you can see it. Calls for mixing all these ingredients together at putting it in the slow cooker for 18 to 24 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through that process real quick. So as the recipe calls for is 5 ounces of hemp ground up flour, which 1 ounce of hemp flour equals about 1 tablespoon, dry tablespoon. So what's on that tray is 5 heaping tablespoons of ground hemp flour. flower being the plant flower. The hemp plant, what you get, I'll kind of backing up here, is the hemp plant puts out a bud much like a flower, and that's what you're buying. You're not buying the leaves or the stalk or anything like that. Okay, and the shake is when they're trimming that flower, is all that they trim off. All right, let's go back to the recipe here. One other thing I don't have up here, and I will pause and show you another result, is you're going to need vodka or Everclear alcohol. But for this recipe, you're only going to want 1/2 teaspoon. All right, so we have the 5 tablespoons of hemp. We want 3 ounces of vegetable glycerin. And this stuff's like super thick. So we'll fill this all the way up to the top. That's 2 ounces. And we'll go for 3 ounces here. All right, and that's 3 ounces. Let that drain out a little bit while I talk here. So in addition to this, which I don't have with me right here, it's bad setup on my part, but in addition to this, I would also add 1/2 teaspoon of Everclear or vodka and mix that in really well. Now, it's really quite simple after this. What I'm going to do, and I'll pause the camera so I can do this and don't bore you. I'm going to take all this dried out hemp flour and I am going to put it in this mixture here, and then we'll go put it in the slow cooker, and I'll show you what that's all about. So bear with me. Phase 1 readiness. This is Adam. I'll be right back. Phase 1 readiness. This is Adam, and we're back. All right. As you can see, I've taken my vegetable glycerin. Everclear is grain alcohol. So the point of putting the alcohol in is to thin out the mixture a little bit, so that it's like a thin cough syrup. If not, the vegetable glycerin is really thick. And as you can see, I've actually used 2 teaspoons in here to thin it out. As you can see, I put all the hemp flour in there, and it's real simple. I just put it in there, and I mix it around really, really well. Really good. And it looks like a paste almost, or a poultice you might say. But all that's going to settle down to the bottom. And what I have here also is I have my slow cooker or my crock pot, whatever you call it, and it's on a keep warm setting. You notice there's a low setting and a keep warm setting. I put it on keep warm setting because, like I said, it's time and heat. And all I do, I have water in here, which I pre-put in, which comes up to about 3/4 of the way on the cup. I just simply set the cup in there and leave it in there for 18 to 24 hours. At the end of that 18 to 24 hours, you want to take that cup out and pour it out through a piece of cheesecloth into whatever container that you're going to pour a second time from there into your little bottles. And that's it. That's how you make CBD tincture for under your tongue out of raw CBD hemp flower. All right, I'll hold this up here real quick. Hopefully you can get it close enough. I'll hold it up there for a little bit. The basic recipe. If you need any more information on this basic recipe, just put it in the comments section, or I'll put it down below in the links. All right, this is Phase 1 Readiness. I'm Adam, and I appreciate you watching, and hopefully this will help save you some money if you're already buying CBD tinctures, and it'll help you out in any way it can physically. It really does work for pain and sleep for me at least. All right, you guys take care. Phase 1 Readiness. I'm out.